I'm Debbie House, Editor-in-Chief of Retail Touchpoints, and I'm here with Clark Linstone, who's the CFO of Lamps Plus. Welcome to you, Clark.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us today.
Glad to be here.
Now, I know that you've been very focused on customer engagement, improving customer loyalty. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the initiatives that you've been working on recently?
Sure. One of the initiatives that we have right now is that it's important for us to have a constant feedback from the customer. The way we look at our brick and mortar is where we have brick and mortar stores, it really is a strategic advantage. And how do we maximize that advantage? We have to be relevant and make the experience in the store something that they can't get at home. Otherwise, they would just be on their iPad and so we think that having the opportunity to have a customer come in a store, we really have to make the most of that experience. So one of the challenges that we had is how do we know how well we're doing and how do we have a rapid feedback mechanism? So what we did was we put survey links on our receipts so that they can go to the URL and provide feedback on their experience. And if they bought anything from our kiosk in the store, they get an email with the same link. And the way it works is that every 15 minutes we're taking that and looking at it, from on an automated basis and sending it back to the store manager. And it's a simple, 5-question, last question being open-ended about their experience, but a relatively short survey to just know how are we doing. And what we do is, if it's a 1 or 2, we make that red, it goes instantly to the store manager's phone so they can address the customer if there's a problem, if their experience wasn't, the way we would expect it to be. Right. We want to contact that customer immediately and see if there's anything we can do to rectify it, find out what the issue was, better understand it. So if maybe not for that customer, if there's nothing really to solve, at least for an ongoing basis. And we also, another thing that we do is we send the 5s, and those go as green, right, because we want that same positive feedback to go back to the people in the store. Because not only do we want our people to know that they did a good job, but we also want to then extend a thank you to the customer to help build that relationship and rapport.
Right.
And so the fact that it can be very almost real time, the feedback on how their store experience, we think really has helped us. I mean, we do very well in the surveys.
What kind of participation have you gotten from customers?
We get thousands a month.
Yeah.
The participation rate is actually higher than we thought it would be.
Yeah.
But I think people are kind of used to, whether it be from Yelp or something else, in terms of, or Uber, in terms of giving star ratings. And so they seem to be willing to give us that feedback. And we want to harvest that information so we can get better and better. I mean, we're a little bit below 5 on average. But there's, our goal is always to have an average of 5. But, perfection, is something we'll strive for. But it's really important, and we have to take those 1 and 2 ratings and really look at ourselves and say, what didn't work the way we wanted to, and make sure that we fix it.
And how long have you had this in place?
It started towards, I think it was the 4th quarter of 2018.
Okay, and then so what kind of results do you feel like you've seen as far as improving the customer experience, improving customer loyalty?
Well, we've seen an improvement in the overall rating. I think we've been able to address some of the issues that they brought up and just made sure. And sure, someday maybe somebody wasn't having a good day and they weren't as helpful as we'd want them to be for whatever reason. But we can address those issues. But I think the key thing here is the timeliness. If we can, because that store manager, everybody remembers that transaction, it just occurred, and so it's not hard to, because before we used to get surveys, but people didn't remember exactly what happened, who might have, been on the floor.
And there's a lag time in between getting the survey response and responding to it, and so it's less, I guess, productive, right, for everyone involved.
So we look at it really as a valuable training tool for our store staff, and we just keep challenging, ourselves of how we can make that a valuable experience where that customer is going to not only be a happy customer, return customer, but we get them to tell their friends and family what a good experience that they had.
All right, fantastic. Well, in recognition of the efforts that you've been putting out in customer engagement, we're giving Lamps Plus a Customer Engagement Award. So I'll just show our audience, and I'll congratulate you
Thank you
on
very
that.
much.
And I appreciate you
this.
joining us today. Enjoy the rest of the event.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us. Have a great day.